Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this super cute fondant reindeer. Okay, so obviously for this you'll need some fondant. As you can see, I've got some fondant in a variety of colours here, and I'll just go through the amounts that you need. So you'll need 110 grams of dark brown fondant, followed by 24 grams of light brown fondant, 2 grams of white, 1 gram of black, 2 grams of red, and 20 grams of green. As well as this, you'll need some modelling tools. So the first tool you'll be needing is a pointy tool, is what I refer to it as, because I don't actually know the name of it, but it's very useful and you can find it in most modelling kits, so just have a little look around for one that contains it. And the next tool you'll be needing is this little ball tool, which is double-ended with 2 sizes, and it's really good for little details like eyes on the reindeer. And then you'll need the slightly larger ball tool, as well as a little pointy, or what do you call that? I'm going to say a curved pointy tool. As you can tell, I'm not a pro at this is purely a hobby of mine. And then this one is optional, but depending on how sticky your fondant is, you may want a food brush just to brush on some water to help your fondant stick to the other pieces of fondant. You'll also need a rolling pin and a knitted mould, which helps make the texture on the scarf. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing you want to do is get 50 grams of your dark brown fondant and roll it into a ball, and this is going to be for the body of the reindeer. Once it's in a ball shape, you want to start rolling the tip of it just between your hands to create more of a cone shape, so it has a bit of a neck. At this point, you may even find it easier to put it on the surface and then roll it between your hands like so. Okay, so once it looks something like this, it's time to move on to the head. So you'll need 30 grams of the same dark brown fondant, and you just want to roll it into a ball first. And then we're going to press it using our fingers in a triangular shape to make it a bit more angular. And just keep manipulating the shape until you're happy with it. Okay, so you should have a little something that looks like this, and then it's time to get your pointy tool, and we're just going to point a hole into the base of the head so that you can place it on top of the neck that we created on the body. So just place it on top of the neck and press down to make it nice and secure. Okay, so now we've got the body of the reindeer, it's time to make the scarf. So you want to grab your 20-gram ball of green fondant and roll it on your knitted mat, and just keep using your fingers to keep it quite narrow so it stays the right shape for the scarf. Then gently peel it away from the mat and you'll have your design, and then we're going to trim it to size. So taking a butter knife, not a sharp knife for this, you don't really need a sharp knife, taking a fairly blunt knife and just cut into a small sort of thin rectangular shape, and then grab your reindeer and drape it around his neck, tucking one piece behind his neck and one out in front. And then just taking my butter knife again, I made little markings at the end to look like tassels of the scarf. Do be careful though, obviously I'm using a very blunt knife, but do be careful if you're holding it like this, like I'm doing. Okay, so then it's time for the reindeer's nose. So I'm making Rudolph, so I'm using a red ball of fondant, but obviously you could use black if you were doing a different type of reindeer. And I'm just taking the 2 grams, the full 2 grams, and moulding it into a little ball and slightly pinching down so it's more of a bean shape. And then just taking your larger ball tool, you want to indent the part where you're going to put the nose so it has something to sort of fall into when you place it on. So then just press it in gently until it's nicely secured. And then we're just going to add a highlight to his nose so it looks nice and shiny. So I've got a tiny amount of white fondant, and just roll it between my fingers in a sausage shape, but also making sure the tip is a bit narrower than the end. And just place that on. Then it is time to do the eyes, so you just want to get your tiny ball tool and start making indents where you want the eyes to go. And just sort of hollow out those little areas so you have a little section for the white fondant to slot in. So then with your white fondant, you just want to roll it into a tiny little ball and then press it into the holes you've created. Then just take your ball tool and sort of press it in gently and manipulate the shape till you're happy with it. Then do the same to the other side. And then with the second one, I actually found the eye looked a little bit smaller, so I added a bit more white and pressed it in. And then you want 2 even tinier balls of black fondant, and then taking the small side of your ball modelling tool, just press in little indents where you want those to go. Then gently place them on and press them in with your modelling tool. Then to make his eyes look shiny, you just want 2 even tinier balls of white fondant that you're just going to press on top to make it look like a little reflection. Now you could stop here, but I actually added some eyelids to his eyes to make him look a bit more animated. So to do this, you want to grab a small ball of your dark brown fondant and press down till it's nice and flat. Then I just cut it in half so I had 2 semicircles of brown that I could press as the eyelids. Then just place them on gently. Okay, so next it's time to make some ears. So you want to take 2 small balls of your dark brown fondant again and press it down so you have a nice flat circle. And then you want to grab 2 smaller balls of your light brown fondant and do the same thing. Then just place the light brown circle on top of the dark brown circle, and then we're going to roll them together to look like ears. So you want to pinch at the bottom and just start rolling it between your fingers so they look a bit more curled. And then repeat for the other ear. And then it's time to make some antlers. So taking a small ball of your dark brown fondant, just roll it into a small sausage shape. Then taking a smaller ball of your dark brown fondant, do the exact same thing so you have a smaller little sausage shape. Then you want to place them together so they look like little antlers, and then twiddle the base so they stick together. Then repeat for the other set of antlers. Then it's time to get the pointy tool again, and we're just going to make a hole where we want these ears and antlers to go. So roughly in the middle of the 2 sloped sides of his head. Then just place in your ear at the bottom, and then sit the antler on top. And repeat for the other side. Okay, so lastly this reindeer needs some arms and legs. So you just want to grab 5 grams of your dark brown fondant and roll it into a sausage shape. Then just press it down and indent it a little bit so it's a bit flat, because this is the part that's going to be connecting it to the body. Then you also just want to try it on for size to check that it looks okay. And when you're happy with it, just do the same for the rest of the arms and legs. Okay, so now we're just going to add some light brown to the tip of his foot to look like the pads of his feet. Okay, so first thing you want to do is press it down flat, and then taking your larger ball tool and press it in until you have a hole. And do the same for each of your feet. And then just taking a small ball of your light brown fondant and just dropping that into the hole you've created and press it down. And then just take your pointy tool and make little markings around the edge to make it look more like fur. Then press it onto his body and repeat for the rest of the legs. And then to finish him off, we're just going to take our pointy curved tool and give him a smile. Okay, so here's the finished reindeer. If you did enjoy this tutorial, be sure to subscribe, and I will be back next time with another video. Thanks for watching, bye!